So let us go with the next concept, chapter 2, basic formulae. In this chapter, we are going to discuss about power, very important and the fundamental calculation in the design area. If you are clear with this calculation, then in the future, when you're going to calculate the size of any equipment, that will be very, very easy for you. So basically, in electrical system, the power is classified into three areas. In electrical system, the power is classified into three areas. So what are the three classifications we have? Nothing but active power, apparent power, and the reactive power. So we have three different types of power. Now, what is meant by active power? Okay, I need a very simple definition. I don't want to go with any kind of technical definitions, any kind of textbook definitions. I need a very simple definition to understand active power. If anyone can please, I really appreciate what is meant by active power, especially the electrical people.
Active power is useful power.
Can you please elaborate? Because in electrical systems, we cannot say that whatever the power we are generating, it is useful, it is waste. We cannot say in this way. I agree with you. As per your thing, I can able to understand, but everyone have to understand what is meant by active power. Whatever the amount of power which we are consuming is the active power. Whatever the amount of power which we are consuming, like you can see right now, we are using our PC, we are having some lights, fans, etc. things in the room. So all these are nothing but your active power equipments. So this active power can also be called as true power and the real power. In some countries, they call this active power as true power as well as the real power. So you should never get confused. Everything means the same. Please make a note of this. So whatever the amount of power which we are consuming is the active power. Whatever the amount of power which we are consuming is the active power. Okay, whatever.
So just repeat the line.
Whatever the amount of power which we are consuming is active power. Whatever the amount of power which we are consuming is nothing but active power. So how can you able to say that this device is active power device, this device is apparent power device, or this device is reactive power device? By looking at the units, we can say that, okay, by looking at the units, we can say that this is the active power and apparent power. So whenever if the equipment is having the units in terms of watts, in terms of kilowatts, or in terms of megawatts, that will be the active power equipment. If the equipment is having the units in watts, kilowatts, or megawatts, watts, kilowatts, or megawatts, then that is nothing but your active power equipment. So this active power, the loads are classified into two types. Active power loads are classified into two types. One is nothing but in terms of single phase system. One is nothing but in terms of three phase system. Okay, one is in single phase system and one is in three phase system. So for three phase, the formula will be P equal to, P stands for power, √3 for the three phase, V for the voltage, I for the current. We've already discussed about all these parameters in the first chapter. Again, the cos phi value, nothing but the power factor value. This is the basic power factor value which we are getting from substation. And in my course, I'm going with a power factor of 0.8. In my course, I'm going with a power factor of 0.8. If you're working with some metropolitan city, or if you're working with good projects, in that case, the power factor can also be 0.85. Now talking about the single phase system. So for single phase, we have P equal to VI cos phi. There will be no √3 times. There will be no √3 over here. And for the single phase, I'm going with a voltage of 230 volts. For three phase, I'm going with 450. In some countries, they go with 405. They go with 440 also for the three phase. For single phase, they can go with 220 also. So these values, you have to check with your state electricity board standards. In many of the Asian countries, they go with this value. And in my complete course, I'm going with this voltage value, because in majority of the cases, we have this standard value only. Now, the question comes over here, at what point we have to go with three phase formula? At what point we have to go with single phase formula? So whenever, if you have a load till 5 kilowatt, in that case, we can go with single phase supply. That means in my home, whatever the equipments I'm using, So when I'm going to assemble all those loads, if it is not exceeding more than 5 kilowatt of load, in that case I can go with single phase energy meter or single phase supply to my home. Whereas when you talk about the three phase, if the load is more than 5 kilowatt in your home, okay, or in your flat, so in that case we are going to take a three phase supply. We are going to take a three phase supply over here. Okay, so this is about the single phase and three phase. And in some countries, in some states, we go till 4 kilowatts also. Okay, we go till 4 kilowatts also, and this value will be more than 4 kilowatt over here in some cases, in some countries. So these two values again you have to cross verify from the state electricity board. Now talking about a HP value, because what is meant by HP? Nothing but horsepower. So as we know, 1 HP equal to 746 watts, 746 watts, nothing but 0.74 kilowatts, I can say. So as you can see, the HP is giving you the units of watts or kilowatts. So obviously this parameter also comes under your active power, because whatever the equipments which are having the units of watts, kilowatts, or megawatts, that will be the active power device only. So to achieve this 5 kilowatt of value, we can say that till 6 HP, we can go with single phase. In practical point of view, this is not possible, because if you're going to use a one constant 6 HP of machine, definitely it will be of three phase. But if you are having multiple machines till 6 HP, in that case, we may use. That is also not recommended. But this 6 HP will be less than 5 kilowatt. So based upon this condition, I'm going to say you that, okay, till 6 HP, we can go with single phase supply. I hope regarding the active power, it's very clear for everyone.